Hi ducks! Welcome to another edition of Falling into Decimals. Today we are going to be dividing decimals with models, covering lessons 5.5 to 5.6. Let's take a minute to review the lesson scale. By the end of this lesson, we would like you to independently divide decimals to the hundredths place value using a model and the standard algorithm, and also be able to use the powers of 10 when dividing to place your decimal point. Let's take a look at the I do. The first method I would like to show you is using a model to divide decimals. So we're asking ourselves, what steps should I take? Well, first we want to shade the model to show or represent the dividend. Then we would like to divide the model into equal groups. Very, very important. Equal groups that are each the size of the divisor. Size of the divisor. Then we would like to make sure that the number of same size groups is our quotient. So you're probably wondering, well, Ms. Walker, why is the quotient a whole number if I am dividing two decimals? I would like you to think to yourself, the number is larger because the number represents the number of groups created. That word groups being your key word. So if we have 0.36 or 36 hundredths divided by 0.06 or 6 hundredths, what we're going to do is we are going to look at this as 36 divided by 6. Okay, so what we're first going to do is we are going to shade our model to represent 36 hundredths. Okay, we know that each one of these columns is equal to 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, and then we have 6 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the blue part that I just shaded represents 36 hundredths. Now what we need to do is we need to have 6 hundredths in each of 6 equal sized groups, because before I told you that we're going to think of this as 36 divided by 6, which gives you 6. So that means that our whole number of groups is going to be 6 groups, and we need 6 hundredths in each group. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one group. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2 groups. And another group of 6. And another group of 6. And then I can find a group of 6 here and a group of 6 here for a total of 6 groups. Okay, let's go on to method number 2. Now we're going to divide decimals using powers of 10. So we're going to do the same exact thing as we just did. We're just going to do it a different way. Instead of using a model, we're going to use the standard algorithm and our knowledge of powers of 10. So what steps should we take? The first thing we need to do is multiply the divisor by a power of 10 to turn it into a whole number. So that could be 1 power of 10, 2 powers of 10, 100 powers of 10. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that to you. And we're going to move the decimal to the right. And this is really key right here. This is key. Whatever power of 10 you multiply your divisor by, you also have to do the same to your dividend. Same to your dividend as you did to your divisor. Okay, so step 1, let's multiply the divisor. We know that our divisor is 1.2. This is the divisor. and we want to multiply it by a power of 10 to make it a whole number. Well, in order to make 1.2 a whole number, we're going to have to move the decimal place one time to the right to make that equal to 12. 12 would be our whole number. Now, I told you above that the steps we need to take is whatever we do to our divisor, we also must do to our dividend. Okay, so this is our dividend. This is the whole number, or the entire number that we are dividing up. And if we have 3.72, in order to make this a whole number, we're going to need to move our decimal 2 places to the right. So we will get oops, scratch that. I was trying to go 2 place values to the right. We actually need to do the same power of 10 as we did to our divisor. So if I was actually following my rules, I would have had 3.72. I know that I moved the divisor 1 place value, so I'm going to do the same to the dividend, and that will give me 37.2. Okay, so next we're going to set up our problem. We're going to have 37.2 as our dividend divided by our divisor of 12. And now we're going to do our standard algorithm for long division, and we just need to remember to place our decimal directly above where it is in the problem. So 12 goes into 37, 12 times 3, 6, and we're going to bring down this 2. 12 goes into 12 one time. 12 times 1 is 12. And we have 0 as a remainder. So our answer to 3.72 divided by 1.2 will give you 3.1. Now I want you to take a look at these 2 questions, and I want you to solve these following expressions, the first one using the model, and the second one using the standard algorithm with powers of 10. I don't know what happened to it. It pieced out. All right, so go ahead and pause the video, and we'll come back and we will check our answers. Okay, and we're back. Let's go ahead and check our answers. So for the model of 72 hundredths divided by 8 hundredths, we would go ahead and shade 7 of these columns to represent the 7/10 in the 72 hundredths. And I'm not doing a good job of shading. I'm just trying to go quickly, so you have to watch me all night. And then we want to go ahead and do the 2 hundredths to make 72 hundredths. Now remember, we want to divide this out into equal groups. And if we were to divide this, saying 72 divided by 8, we would get 9. So we know that we want 9 equal groups. So let's go ahead and see if we can come up with 9 equal groups of 8 hundredths each. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups, 7 groups, 8 groups, and 9 groups. All right, now let's take a look at the standard algorithm with powers of 10. So we're going to divide 9.28 divided by 3.2. Now remember, when using powers of 10, we want to make the divisor a whole number. So we're going to move the decimal 1 place value to the right to make this a 32. And if we move the decimal by 1 power of 10 in the divisor, we also need to do the same to our dividend. So if we move our decimal 1 place value to the right in 9.28, we're going to have 92.8 as our divisor, as our dividend. So now we'll have 92.8 divided by 32. I'm just going to go ahead and do the math quickly. So 32 goes into 92 2 times, and 32 times 2 is 4. And then we have 32 goes into 288. I'm sure when you did this on your own, you did some of your math off to the side. And it goes in evenly 9 times. 32 times 9 equals 288. So there's not going to be a remainder. And your answer is 29 equal groups. Go ahead and rate yourself on the end of the lesson scale, and we will see you in class mañana.